All right, let's keep the party going. The saga continues. We got the Riverside County Fairgrounds Date Festival sign, the big boy, the big girl, the big they. However, it self-identifies, I'm not sure. So previously, on the last episode, we've got the front vert north, and we've got the rock surrounds the threes. So now I'm sending, I already sent the parts out. This is what this is for. This is for the verts mains, both the west and the east. So I'm going to focus on the west side because that's kind of what I built it from. Plus, while I was building that out, on the back side, on the south side, there's going to be a door as well. So the door just happens to be sort of attached to the west side. So I included the door on the west side files. And then you also have a rock connector. So on the east side, it's just going to be the mirror of the west panel. And you'll have a rock connector, which I'm going to explain. But the door and everything is going to be on the west, so you don't have to worry about that. So, and because I work with a bunch of fifth graders, and I am a fifth grader, I am refraining from calling it the back door, even though it's in the back of the sign. It is the door. So grow up, read a book. So with that being said, let's get after it. So let's do the lay of the land. I'm going to need my page turner for this. All right. So, oh, by the way, I know I'm getting a lot of I really appreciate all the people reaching out, talking to me about getting some macros going and stuff. I know there's a lot of interest in that. I really appreciate that, but I am absolutely crushed. I'm hoping that after the holidays, once I see some light, see some daylight, and get past all of this, I can possibly get some more macros going in the store. But I hear you. I really appreciate you guys watching, listening, all that. That's awesome. So, but anyway, let's get after the lay of the land. We've got ourselves. So I had to break it up because there's so many parts. So I went ahead and just did all the vertical stuff. These are all the verts. And then everything that's horizontal is horizontal. There you go. So tops and bottoms and stuff. And then you got your jiggies. And again, all of this, I'm not even going to explain it, but all of this will just be mirrored on the east side. So, all the frame parts and jiggies are the same. It's just mirrored. So anyway, so just take this as the explanation. So you have over here, you got your skins. You'll have the main front panels, and then you'll have your back skin that, it can be open, it's fine. And then you got your rock connector. I'll show you that. And then all the mounting plates, a lot more simple than the stone rock ones because they're not supporting as much weight, obviously. So it's a little more smooth going there. And these guys here, I'll show you. These are the side trim connectors and lift points and things like that. So those are all quarter. And then going forward, you're going to have this on both of them. I'm calling the Perf Frames. So this is what the perforated stuff's going to be mounted to. So you're going to have this on the west and you're going to have this on the east. And then also coming up, be ready. This will also go around almost the whole perimeter of the crowns, the top ones. So this is going to be the track that will allow them to self-tap the perf all the way around for ventilation. So that's that. And then here, again, this is just for the west. Here's the door. So we got the door skins, got a little back thing there. There's going to be no back skin on the door, it's just on the front. You got your jigs, and then you got the door frame and the door jams. So I'll go over all that. Keep an eye out for the little handle, little dude here. Don't let him get lost. And then there's the door jams also consist of 2 strips of 1/4 inch. So, and there's going to be some island fill on that and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So, woohoo. That being said, so we've got the rock connector, we've got the main panel, and then we've got the door. So really, though, you're already going to have your eye in with all of this, and these are essentially big monument boxes. So there's not a lot to explain as far as the construction is concerned. I'll just hit the high spots and kind of show what's up. So let's start with the door here. So you're just going to put the frame together, right? And go ahead and tack it together. Leave the skin off for right now, but go ahead and get it all welded up. On this one here, I went ahead and made all the jigs the same, literally for a corner and everything. So you might not use that hole, but it'll be the same holes there. But because the hinges were in the way, it did require that the corner pieces, mark C, had to get truncated in order for these hinges here to fit in. You see the hinge right there. So that's the only thing, is just watch out for that. But go ahead and put that together. Tack everything together, all good. If you see this and want to get ahead, don't put this little handle yet. That handle is the last thing you're going to do because you have to put the skin on first. So, but everything else, tack it all together. Then you're going to follow the order here. So you're going to take those hinges. I have them here at the lab. I'll bring them back. I just wanted to get the sizing and everything. So you're going to take the hinges, and first thing you're going to do is you're going to take that hinge and line it up inside it's a 0.02 island fill, and then go ahead and burn it up real good. This door might have a little bit of weight to it. So go ahead and make sure it's burned up really good, but make sure this doesn't taco too much because it's obviously going to bend on this side. So get that burnt to that. And then before you lords it or anything, once these hinges have this little flap hanging off of it and welded to that, then you're going to take it and you're going to slide the hinge into the frame like this. So this is all blown up. So this is the face of the frame here. Right there is the face of the frame. You're just going to slide it in, and it should bonk against the barrel of the hinge. And then this would be like the 1/4 inch that you just welded up, and it's already attached there. Slide that in, and then it should match. I gave you an outside reference kiss, and it should match up. But really, you can only go so far. It should bonk. Then go ahead and tack it inside that very well and burn it to the inside flange. And then there you go. So now you'll have this frame welded up with this, piece of 1/4 flapping. Then you're just going to put this guy, you're going to lords this, you're going to nestle this into this. What that does though is it just gives it a block, because otherwise we'd have this space between the 1/4 inch and the angle, whatever, so you could actually see through. So what this does is it just gives it a nice finished look, this outer piece of 09. So you'll see where it's kind of notched for the hinges, and it should all work out that way. So that'll be the hinge side, and then that'll kind of be always together. That's boom. And then this side is the same of what you're just talking about there, except there's no welding or anything. You're just going to take the jam side of the striker side, that is, and just lords it into that angle. And then this one actually is for the east side. So so you just set that aside and you're all good. So this side, the door hinges and the door itself and everything, which is kind of why it's on the west side file, will attach to the west side vertical panel here. You can see where right there is kind of where the door hinge is. It is a 6'8", just a normal size door. So it's basically the same. And your normal entry door is 36 inches. This is 30. So we're almost pretty close to having an actual door. And I went ahead and I bought a deadbolt and everything. So I have keys and everything. So that's here at the lab as well. I'll be bringing that to you, and I'll brief you guys on, what to expect for that. So anyway, so that's going to kind of take care of the door. The door itself will be installed by install. So don't, once it's all said and done, you can leave this off. Probably wants to get painted though. And the door does not need to be attached because obviously this thing's already a monster. So just get this door made. Anyway, so yeah, so once you got that all taken care of and you get this lords on and everything, then you're ready for skins. So you're just going to lords the skin on, and then you got this little back there. Make sure this is put the right way because it isn't, it's asymmetrical. We got to make sure that these guys are towards the, the outside there that matches up. So you're just going to lords this to the back of this box. It's going to close this up, and then you're good to go. At which point you see this little slot. That slot is where the handle can go. So once that's all said and done, make sure the handle goes away, obviously away, so you can grab it with your left hand while you work the key. So make sure the tab goes away, and then you can actually come from the back side and hit it with a rivet, and you're just going to rivet that to that, and you're good to go. And that's the handle. So you can see right there, that's like a side view of the handle, how much it sticks up. So kind of cool. First time we've actually put like an actual door thing there. So all right, so that's the door. So let's talk about the rock connector. The rock connector is just like an interstitial. It's literally just a little piece that closes a gap between the two panels. So I already sent you rock west, and that's going to be this guy here. And then just by the nature of, we want the rock to come around the corner and then go back. So it's supposedly 1.5 inches left there, and it's going to be 1.5 inches on the face of the rock thing. And then it comes back to the main 09 face, set back that far. So this is the panel you're going to make right now. And then this is the rock panel. So what happens is there's a gap between the two frames, so they don't even touch. And it is 1.5 inches right here. Also, this is the closest mounting point for this. And then almost 5 feet over is, a flap. Obviously it's not flapping. It's going to be very strong, but there's no connection point. And then this guy here is where this connection point is on this pole. And then there's nothing there. So this is going to serve two purposes. It's just literally a little gap filler there, but it also connects to the side of the box you're going to do here, the main vert. And then also, this is why I gave you 4 aluminum nuts there to weld into the rock guy there, the rock west. And so install is just going to hit that up with 1/2-inch bolts and just going to frap that together. So that's then going to permanently connect rock west with the main vert west. And then east has the same thing, it's just mirrored. So what you're going to do there, just follow the order. You're just going to rivet these guys together. This guy here folds up, goes inside, throw some rivets, and now you have a 90 thing, and that's awesome. You're going to keep that in mind. You're going to have similar thing up here when we get to the trim. It's going to be like this. One's going to tuck into the other. You're just going to hit it with rivets, and then that's how these trim boxes are actually going to attach. You're going to have 3 connection points here on the box itself with 1/2-inch bolts. But then in between, that'll give a chance to nail it down with some number 10 self-tappers. So this whole thing is going to be number 10 self-tappers like crazy, and then also 1/2-inch by 13 bolts as well. So you're just going to do that first, get these guys prepped. And then second, what you're going to do is you're going to take this one here, bend that one up, and then you're going to lords it into this one. And that's going to give you this sort of short side with a long guy here. And then this guy's just going to be poking out. So that's what you're going to get. So you're going to lords that together, right? And that's going to be these two. And then once you get that, then on the long side, you're going to match up where that roval goes here. That's going to match up with that roval there. And then you're just going to lords these guys into that and create this nice little sandwich there that that then tucks into there. So that's how that is. So you've got the black part there with that guy there. So that guy goes in, boom, boom, after you lords it out. So it's one big lord sandwich. And then install, what they're going to do is, like I said, probably just around the shop. I don't think you need to actually install this track, but it's all number 10. So install will just get out there, boom, boom, frap that in there, and then they'll put the stone on and then hit that with the halves. And then that's going to be nice and connected, nice and strong. So that's that for rock connector. So again, you have this on the west and you also have it on the east. And then we get here to the main box. Again, daunting because it's so big, but it's essentially a whole bunch of what you've already done. You'll notice this, again, 3/16 rivets. You're just going to take these mounting plates a la Eisenhower, and you're going to go ahead and rivet those together and then put those into place. And you're going to skewer some 2x through. And then you're going to have long verts of 2x3. Again, the horizontals here, right? Those horizontals are 2x4. And then on this one here, 2x4. But on this guy and this guy, 2x3. So you're going to have the long horizontals of 2x3, or verticals of 2x3, horizontals of 2x. You got a single 3x across the top. And then I got you some of these guys here. You know how we do. Make sure you use these. I know sometimes you kind of forget or they get lost. But go ahead and use these to burn them up real good, because this is your lift point, that crossbar, and it's going to be lifting this whole thing. So, but that's it. You know, again, rivet those together, create the lift point areas like you kind of did with Eisenhower / whatever. The other difference will be similar. This is going to be the same. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around here. These guys here are going to be similar. Well, the same thing as what you're going to do here. So if you do this rock first, because I already sent these, you'll be familiar with kind of how this is going to work. So I'm kind of duplicating that over here. So what you're going to do though, so here's how I see that, because this has to tuck in. Also, it has to notch into the 2x3 here. So it's going to be impossible to get this in after this frame's put together. So what I see is, I know you guys already kind of work this way anyway, is you guys sort of attack the middle first and get all that together. And then because there's nothing really going on the right-hand side of the Dutchie, you're going to go ahead and you can go ahead and seal that up, cleco all that up, and then just leave this whole side off. Then, because there's no real way to stabilize this by itself, you're going to be using the frame and the 193s of the frame itself. Then go ahead and slide this through to the back, and then go ahead and construct this into the frame. Let the frame piece hold it together for you, and maybe burn it while it's in the frame. And then maybe connect all of these, but you have 3 of them. So you have one there and you have one there. So All of this can be put together, hold off on this edge, get these things in there, get them burnt, and then you can then apply this and slide it in, and then these are going to notch into the 2x3. Burn this really well, because that's going to transfer the weight of these, I say smaller boxes, but they're still pretty big. So this whole trim box here is going to be supported by those bolts working their way right back over to this whole bearing area, and then getting that right to the pull, and then down to the earth. And then hopefully the earth's strong enough to hold it up. So, and then from there, like I said, you'll have the install will have number 10s to support and kind of pull it against to make sure it sucks up tight and through there. So, but that's coming, that's upcoming. But all of those provisions are baked into, so you can see where like that guy there is already laid out for like that guy there. So this little doohickey there, boom, boom, is already laid out. And so it's all just going to come together right now over me. So get all this together and then kind of work these things and then bring this together, boom, and then burn your connector plates and all that. So like I said, this is a lot easier than doing these rock file ones. These rock ones are pretty crazy. So you don't have to do as much as that nonsense. Your cut list, because this thing's so long that you actually have 2 full sticks at 240. So they go all the way down to past J. And then you're just going to splice in another piece. That's a whole nother 80 piece there. So you see I and J actually have pretty large holes there to allow 2 sticks to be next to each other. And then they actually shift over. So you can see where everything is to the right all the way down to the transition point. And then once it comes out, it's K on this side, okay? Where's our cut list? There it is over here. So yeah, so you got your 240, your 80 and all that stuff. And then you got 2 longer ones because of that crossover point. The 242s go down here at the bottom between J and K. That way you can actually cross up where those guys go, and you're just going to make sure you burn these to each other really well. I wouldn't go too crazy on this splice because, as you know, this will shrink this up and put pressure and torque the whole sign down. So, but just run some good little stitches on this just to sort of, keep things, you burn it there. If you burn it to this, it's all going to work out great. So anyway, and then what you're going to do is bring this down to the bottom. And then this is kind of important. I made some jacks down here because for this reason, and this is going to be one of the weakest part of this sign or this panel, is when it's loaded like this, it's going to be in tension and shear, which is fine. The vertical load on everything that's perfect. Also, when it's horizontal, it's going to be like a big old table. But the issue is, and I'll show you what's up here. Let's do a quick group, and let's just go like that. So when it's on the ground, that's great because it's just going to be like that. So its most vulnerable point, and let's go ahead and shift, for those playing along at home, we're going to shift the rotation point down here to down there. So I know technically it'll pivot here first, but what'll happen though is, here's the lift point on this side. So this right here is going to be like its most vulnerable state. So hence the reason why I'm kind of running those sticks all the way down, because this will want to sag. Now, due to the monocoque nature of this, it's going to be fine. It's going to be nice and rigid. Don't worry about it. But obviously, all of the weight is going to be on this point. So it's going to be on the back skin, and it's going to be resting right there. Hence, the importance of these little pieces of 1/4 inch, which will help support, and then that's going to run right up to the base and burn that, and then that's going to transfer. So when it's like this, all the weight will be across the whole skin, which is great, but it'll help boost that to the inside framing. So that way, so this is going to be its most sad point right there. It's going to be hate in life as it gets lifted into place. Hopefully, and it's going to get drug along because as they put pressure here and lift at this point, it's going to drag the bottom. So hopefully you just do some sacrificial, moving blankets or whatever, and hopefully protect that bottom. So that's what I got here. So you got these little 09ers. They're just going to go right in there like that. And then you're just going to burn them in, boom, like that. And that gives just a little centering thing. And then you got the 1/4 inch plates at the bottom. Now the bottom one here, I notched it for the jig, but still you have a pretty good plate there. That's going to be fine. And then same thing there, burn it up good. And then so these little plates are going to transfer that transitioning load from horizontal back up to vertical. And then once it's vertical, like I said, this thing's happy. It's how it wants to live vertical. That's fine. One big ladder. So look at Papa Wheelie. Look at that thing. Oh, please don't crash. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay, cool. Actually, I think I can get rid of the verts east because we're done with that. Yes. All right. Come on. Big files. Lots of math. Lots of vectors. All right. So we're good there. So once you get that all put together in the frames, then you're good to go to skin. You got three main panels, top, middle, bottom. Boom, boom, boom. And then you got the back skins, top, middle, bottom. Now make sure you get the right and the left-hand side because you can see where it is asymmetrical, because on the back skin is where you have the door jamb. So you can see where you got the two holes back to back to back. That is where install will be self-tapping. And I even have HNG for hinge. So that'll be where the door lives on the back side. And then going up from there, it goes to single dots. The single dots are what I'm calling the perf frames. So the perf frames are going to be where, so this whole thing from the door up higher is going to be closed up all the way up with perforated metal, whether it be, I don't know, 050 or something like that. So this whole thing is going to be perf, and then all the way across the top, across the crown and everything will just be perf. That way it allows the heat to escape and everything. So I'm calling that the perf track or the perf frames, but perf track, whatever. So you're just going to go ahead and bend that up. It's a 1-2 bend. And then you just go ahead and put these guys in there. And then when you go to rivet, now I would maybe just tack these. These don't need to be burnt in place. But if you just tack the wings up inside, you can see there. So if you just throw a tack right there or whatever, that's great. Just click with that. But then this whole assembly will just get, it'll just get riveted on the back side. So you can see there, that's the back side of this guy here. So the oranges, you just rivet, rivet, rivet. And then once you get down here, you don't need to do anything. That's just going to be put on in the field. That's the door hinge. So that'll be all the way up. So that's in 2 pieces, but you have an east and a west. So on the east side, you get the same thing. And it is only on one side, obviously. And then the track, though, you'll see that track. So whatever, keep that in mind. You're then going to have a track from here to here. And then you'll have a track all the way across the crown. And then it'll actually come down to here. So that'll be perf. This will be perf. And then that perf is running all the way down to the bottom. Well, till the door. So anyway, so that's a perf frames, perf track, whatever. So that's just a bunch of riveting. So that being said, bring in a bunch of rivets. You're going to need some big boy 3/16 rivets. Keep that going. Keep the party going from Eisenhower. But you're also going to need a bunch of 5/32 that are good for the 09 to 09, and you're good to go. Or actually, this one's 309s. So make sure you got plenty of rivets in, and for that. So, but that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's a lot here, but it's just a lot of parts. It's not, like I say, these are basically just giant monument signs, just cranking them out. So I hope that helps. Also the naming standard. So when you're naming things, unfortunately, because we like to use face as front, B is back, L is left, R is right. Well, if you're using the alphabet to name things, yes, you get namespace pollution. I was going to skip, but I just figured it gets more confusing as well. So just watch out that I do have F for everything that faces forward, but obviously that's justified to the side. I think you guys are good enough to know that this is face and then this is letter F because letter F. I would have skipped it, but then that would have just put us at JKL and L is left. So you already have a left and a right. So I think you guys just go off the PDF. I think you guys figure that out, but there's always compromises. So anyway, so I think that is it for all this. These little guys, don't want to miss this. These are just little guys to make sure that they get notched into the top bar here and then get attacked to the top. These are 1/2 inch, weld those in. Those are 1/2 inch nuts. What's going to happen is you can see here. So the verts is what's going to be installed first. This gets installed first. The side box gets installed next to it. Make sure it's level there. And then from there, then they'll bring in the crowns. And once the crowns settle down and go bonk right on there, then install can reach in right here. It'll be open. And then they can hit those with some 1/2 inch bolts that'll help suck these together. Bam, bam. So that's what those are for. So you got 2 of those there. Don't miss those. Same thing on the east. It's all the same. So just burn it to that top. So the top 3x, oops. The top 3x here is working duty. It's working the lift point, and also it's going to be the connection point for that. So, all right. But I think that's about it. So everything on this is the same on the east, except the door. I think you got the door figured out. Yeah, I did this little guy here too. Ha. So that's your fab table. So that's a 4x10 fab table, just so you can get an idea what you got going on. So you can maybe get the juices flowing, like I said, figuring out how you actually want to attack these and build them. Again, I would try to build these with an easy exit out. I wouldn't try to build these in the shop. Make sure you don't build yourself a ship in a bottle and get stuck. So I guess we could always knock a wall down, but anyway, so that's it for east-west door rock connectors. Next up, we're almost there. So next up will be the top crowns. Now that I have the logo, the Fairground logos. We got these in from RNS, so we got the letters, so I can mount those and do that to get the holes. So we're closing in, and then once you get that, then we'll just have the trim boxes right there for you guys, and then that's it. So all right, man. So keep up the hard work. You guys are killing it. So if you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique. See if you